Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live. It is game day show edition. You know what? We got some news that came out, I'd say probably right around 10 p.m. last night, Eastern Standard Time. For those not in my time zone, I always need to make sure I point that out. This came out from different people within national media, but also I want to give credit where credit is due. New Orleans Saints football host / base reporter, and then it is, I'm always going to forget his name, so let me just pull it up here. We'll go. Nick Underhill broke this news, the Detroit Lions and his New Orleans Saints that he covers for the Saints podcast, New Orleans Saints podcast, official podcast, New Orleans Saints .football.org. He did say that the Lions and the Saints have had some conversations about potential trades. The Saints are not yet ready to go into sale mode, selling everything off mode. I think if you get it, you watch their team, they're probably trending towards that way. They're just not there yet. According to his sources within the organization, Detroit Lions, and the Lions aren't the only team talking to the Saints about potential deals, but the Lions are a prominent one. Why is that? We're going to go into that during the main topic of the day. We have a special guest who's going to break it down with us, give their insights and analysis on it. But let's also, just real quick, Scooby-Doo it on our own. Dan Campbell coached for the Saints. He has a lot of ties. You see some of the players the Lions have brought over to the organization during his stay here. Some of them do have New Orleans Saints ties, so it makes a lot of sense in that regards. Whether you're talking about Alex Anzalone and Marcus Davenport, it's because MCDC knows these guys. There's a firm relationship. He knows what he's getting out of these guys. So it sounds like there's potentially, from a Lions perspective, 2 players, maybe 3, that they're trying to kick the can on. Would they try to acquire all 3? Man, I don't know, but I could definitely see 1, maybe 2 of them coming on in. We'll get into that in about 15, 20 minutes during the main topic of the day. Before we do that, you guys already know we're going to do the 5 headlines now. Break down today's big matchup with the Bengals. Hey, it's the Battle of the Cats, the battle in the jungle, the thriller in Cincinnati, whatever you want to call it. It's probably going to be an all Detroit Lions game today. So that's good for Lions fans. Real quick, though, before we get in any of those, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 185 subs away from hitting 15,000. If you could help out with that, man, I'll give you a crisp, clean high five and say thank you. Also, if you have a moment of time while hitting that subscribe button, reach on down, over, left, right, wherever it is on your particular device, and hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly, never least, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation, see how I can use over 30 years in the industry to try to save you time, money, hassle, make sure nobody overcharged you, etc. Also, real quick, want to give a shout out to the Sarge and his wife. They had their anniversary last night. I had a bunch of people over. So, hey, shout out Sarge and Kim on your phenomenal anniversary. All right, all that done, I'll set out of the way. Let's go ahead and get this show rock and rolling, going, kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming our way. 1, 2, 3. Lions make roster moves ahead of matchup with Bengals. one of which could potentially mean injured starter may not play. A to Z Sports, story by Mike Payton. If you didn't see this yesterday, well, I'll catch you up to speed, but it did come out yesterday, like every Saturday. Offensive lineman Devin Cochran will be elevated from the practice squad. Is that an indication Taylor Decker isn't going to play or could be limited? It is. My full anticipation is this is just to add more depth to the offensive line in case something should happen. Maybe Decker, you guys all get it. We're far enough in the season. This has become a norm now. He's not practicing during the week. He's just simply playing on game days. They're doing everything they can to preserve his body, keep that shoulder, which he had to have some cleanup surgery done too. Keeping everything as right as rain with him. The other thing we should mention is that Trey Flowers, who got here about 15 seconds ago, has already been elevated to the 53-man roster as well. He's a veteran player, so he probably really only needed a couple days of practice to get some understanding of what he could do. Lions, we all get it. Hey, Reed isn't going to play this week. We understand he's out on the IR. He's not going to be back in for the foreseeable future. But then the Kirby Joseph question starts coming into play. Do the Lions give him today off in order to maybe have him better ready or rested, etc., for Kansas City and Tampa Bay? It is a possibility. I personally think Flowers is coming up just for special teams, but you know what? We'll have to see if that holds water. I wouldn't be horribly upset if Kirby Joseph didn't play today just so he could have a little extra time, like I said, to kind of recover that PCL, do what you can to get it right, because once we get through this game, you got 2 games, then you got another week off of the bye week. So in a sense, you could kind of give him, a little bit of time to really rest that thing here and there while still playing him in the bigger games. Everybody in the national media, probably YouTube media, print media, you guys probably only have your thoughts as well, that this game has real potential to go the Lions' way. So if you could buy somebody who's maybe a little stressed out from a physical standpoint, an extra week or so of recovery, maybe for Taylor Decker, maybe for Kirby Joseph, wouldn't be the worst idea. We'll have to see what MCDC and the coaches have schemed up for us today. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Dan Campbell shares when team knew Penei Sewell would shine. Detroit Lions on SI.com. During his last press conference, MCDC was asked specifically about Penei Sewell. You guys probably understand he is having one of the best starts to any season from a grading standpoint that anybody in the NFL has ever seen. Penei Sewell, he had nearly a perfect score recently. And you guys remember it, man. It was like 98 point something. And I don't know if you can ever truly get 100 on Pro Football Focus. You can like Pro Football Focus's grades. You can not like them. I'll let you guys come down to that. But whoever's grading him, whoever's watching him, we can all agree this. During the season so far, Penei Sewell has been on a monster pace. MCDC was asked when they thought they knew they had something here with the kid. They said the very first game he ever played against the 49ers at Ford Field, I was actually there, that they had to last second move him over to left tackle. He goes up against Bosa and basically shuts him out. If you remember that game, you remember Bosa even being asked by the media after the game. They said, man, that kid's got a lot of potential. He's going to be something. And at that time, I think he was still 19 years old. Don't hold me to that. Maybe he was 20. But when the Lions drafted him, he was 19 years old. I just don't remember the specifics of that first game, if he was still 19 or not. But DC said, or Dan Campbell said, the fact that you could play him all week and all training camp at right there and then switch him over to left, and he went up against somebody like that and shut him down, he knew they had something in the works there. And I agree with him. You watch him out there, even though he's just a kid, he is a man-child, and he is manhandling a lot of people. That's what he's done throughout his career, including this year. He's only 24 years old, and he is beating up some of the best players out in the NFL as far as defensive linemen, holding his own, sometimes against 2 guys. It's impressive what he's able to do physically. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. 3 Bengals players Lions must worry about. Detroit Lions on SI, story by Vito Shrito. Are there a couple players on the Bengals that can hurt you? Absolutely. We've talked all week. We talked about it with Dan O'Damas yesterday. Everybody is predicting the Lions are going to win by a significant amount. Heck, just look at Vegas saying, I think we're favored still by 10.5 points. But let's not forget, they've got some weapons. Number 1, Trey Hendrickson. Hey, everybody's wanted him to become a Detroit Lion. He has not had the best start to his season. Some of that, I do believe, is just the other weapons around him on the defensive line or defensive front have not been very effective. So teams are focusing 2, sometimes 3 guys on him to limit him. But Hendrickson, he can change any game with one swift, stroke of his arms, displacing the ball from a quarterback or running back. He is a playmaker. You guys all know it. He's had 1 billion sacks in the last 2 seasons. He gets, already this year, he's got 2 sacks, 6 quarterback pressures. 19 pressures and 6 quarterback hits. So even though that's kind of flying under the radar, he's still playing at a high level despite all the attention he's bringing on. Detroit's offensive tackles, whether Decker plays or not, whoever's out there, they're going to have to focus on him, whether it's him, Penei Sewell, etc. They can't allow him to wreck the game. You guys already know they have maybe one of the best wide receiving combos in the entire NFL. Jamar Chase on his own is one of the best wide receivers in the league, let alone when you shadow him with T. Higginson. They're so far with the quarterback situation, they haven't been able to get on track. We need to make sure you continue that because you know what? If either one of these guys or both of them get going today, that's going to put a whole lot of stress on that Lions defense and then obviously more stress on the Lions offense. It's a road game. It's a home game. The weather's going to be fine out there. There won't be any issues that I'm privy to when it comes to weather. You just need to make sure these 2 guys who have been sleeping the last 2 games because of the quarterback change, keep them sleeping. All right, next, the headlines for you guys. Oops, all right. Let's see. This one should read 3 Lions matchups to watch against Bengals in potential Week 5 trap game. Sideline report, Candace Prayers. Is there just 3 matchups that we need to pay attention to? I don't know, but let me fix that headline real quick. Hey, there we go. All right, let's go to it. Tale of 3 Lions matchups to watch, and I'll give you a couple of ideas here. Penei Sewell versus Trey. I think we all get it. You stop Hendrickson. He's their prominent pass rusher and the guy who's going to try to shut down the running game. If you stop him, you probably have a whole lot more success running the ball. We all get it. If the Lions get going running the ball, they're going to keep running the ball and they're going to run it some more and then even occasionally sprinkle in some play action pass. This will be a big matchup, but Penei Sewell, I think he's the immovable object right now, and I just don't see where Hendrickson 99% of the time is going to beat him out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get proven wrong today. That being said, though, you have to make sure when that 1 or 2 times happen a game that Hendrickson can beat Penei Sewell or Taylor Decker, that you don't let him wreck the game. All right, Lions secondary versus Chase and Higgins. I think we all get it. Lions secondary is a little beat up right now, especially if Kirby Joseph doesn't go today, although I do think he will. If you can hold these guys in check, then you know what, that Lions ground and pound game is just going to keep on going. I just think, man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody else is wrong too. I just don't see any way the Bengals are going to keep up today unless the Lions really turn the ball over or just don't show up. That doesn't seem like MCDC is going to allow either one of those things to happen. We'll find out. Last one we got here, Dave Montgomery, homecoming. He's on a homecoming. DJ Reader's kind of got a homecoming. He's coming back to the Bengals. And let's not also forget Derek Barnes. These guys are going to be fired up. And I think they're prominent personalities enough on this team where everybody around them understands the situation with all 3 guys. They're going to probably want to win this game and win it convincingly for these guys. Could it be that Montgomery gets a few extra carries because of it? Maybe Barnes is allowed to go after the quarterback a little bit more? We'll find out today. Last one here, throwing at you guys, Jared Goff versus Zach Taylor. Those who don't remember, Zach Taylor was Goff's quarterback coach once upon a time. Goff with the Los Angeles Rams days. Hey, it's been a while now since he's been a Detroit Lion, but let's also understand most people in sports, they like to not lose to their former, coaches or whatever it may be, teammates, etc. I think Jared Goff might have a little extra pep in his step, trying to make sure, hey, Zach Taylor, you helped me be successful once upon a time. Now I'm going to show you how successful I am even without you. All right, let's see. Which one? Where do we leave off on? Last of them. All right, tail of the tape. Who holds the edge in Lions-Bengals matchup? Detroit Lions on SI. Christian Boer with this one. I think we're all going to agree there's going to be a lot of edges going the Lions' ways, but let's break it down for you. Let's start with the Lions' offense versus the Bengals' defense. Bengals' defense, the front 4 I don't think are bad at all. I think the secondary is not good, and that's a scary proposition for a Lions passing attack offensive line that just can do whatever you want, really, I think, in this game. We've talked about it all week long. My anticipation, the Bengals are going to have to keep 7 to 8 guys at line of scrimmage on first and second down to try to slow down the running game. Because of that, who knows, man? This is a real good matchup for Jameson Williams. You want to get him back on track? If you got 8 guys at the line, you don't have many that can help out going long. Jared Goff maybe wants to get a couple extra shots going J-Mo's way to try to get some of the naysayers from last week off his back. You know what? This could be the one for it. I just think the Lions offense, from the offensive line, the running game, the tight ends, the quarterback play, the wide receivers, the coaches, it's all Detroit Lions versus that defense. I say that maybe the defense for the Bengals plays their best game ever, but my guess is the Lions are going to score and score fairly often. All right, Bengals offense versus Lions defense. I'm going to give the edge also to the Lions. It all begins with your offensive line, like it does with the defensive line on your respective units. The Bengals, the polite way to put it would be their offensive line isn't good. And by not good, I mean they might be 35th out of 32 teams. It may be not that bad, but you guys get it. They've got problems across the line there, just from a talent standpoint. My anticipation is they can't do anything more than a 3-step drop. If they're going to pass, which they do want to pass 65% of the time, they only want to run it 35% of the time. If I'm the Bengals, man, I might just try to run it 3 straight downs just to kill some clock a little bit more and try to protect my quarterback. The problem is your best offensive weapons are all wide receivers. It's not a tight end. It's not a running back. It's not a quarterback this week. You guys get it. You want to get those guys involved. If you don't, I think with both Chase and Tiggins, they're going to let you know they're not getting involved. So because they're going to throw more, means that quarterback's going to take more hits. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for the Lions to get interceptions and sacks today. So again, Lions in a landslide as far as an edge. Quarterback play, probably don't really have to break this one down too much. Browning has had some struggles. I think that'd be the fair way to put it in the last 2 weeks. Jared Goff has not had struggles other than one play last week where I don't know if it was miscommunication or whatever, that interception, that thing was gruesome. Outside of that play, though, this entire season, Jared Goff's been on fire, in my opinion, so I'm going to say Lions in a landslide. Special teams, I almost want to give it to the Bengals just to be polite, but I got to be fair, too, when breaking it down. I just don't see where they're competitive here either. Their kicker is not bad. Their punter is not bad. Their punt return unit's not bad. Their kickoff return unit's not bad. All right, so we'll just say the Bengals are average everywhere across the board. The problem is the Lions aren't average by any stretch. Their kicking game, Jake Bates, he's pretty dang good. I won't call him a 10 out of 10. I'll call him an 8.5 out of 10. I will say Jack Fox is a 10 out of 10. The return game on the punting unit, I think it is, I'll go ahead and say an 8.5 out of 10. Cleve Raymond, why he doesn't always break out, you know he's always a threat. Anytime he gets his hands on the ball, he is has the possibility to return it all the way to the house. So because of that, I think you're going to be pretty high. The Lions, one real downside I have on special teams is their coverage units on kickoffs. For whatever reason, they're struggling there, and hopefully they get it ironed out a little bit more this week. And then coaching, Lions in the landslide, it's hard to really say anybody's doing a great job coaching. Zach Taylor, however, I think he might not be a bad coach. He just doesn't have a quarterback to work with, and he's got a defense that's fairly limited. You can be the greatest coach ever, but if you don't have the right talent around you, probably ain't going to matter. So you guys get it. Lions overall in a landslide as far as this tail of the tape. All right, all that done, set all the way. Let's get into the main topic today. We got about 12 minutes to our special guest joins us. So we'll dive into this, get through the Do Crew comments section a little bit, and then we'll bring in our special guest of the day to help bring it on down a little bit more. So 1, 2, 3, let me find the right button and get into the main topic of the day. All right, as we were talking about in the opening monologue, this came out late yesterday. This is from the Saints podcast, Nick Underhill, New Orleans Saints football. He's on there talking to them all about, hey, the Saints are ready if they lose 1 or 2 more games to go into sell mode. They've already had conversations with a multitude of teams. I want to be clear on that, so we're all on the same page. He isn't saying it's just the Detroit Lions talking to the Saints, but he does point out it is the Detroit Lions talking to him, having some conversations. Apparently, in his from his sources, Lions and Saints have been talking for a couple weeks about Cam Jordan and Carl Granderson. Both of them, for those who don't know, are defensive ends. Jordan was there when MCDC was an assistant coach there. He is 36 years old. He is still productive. And no, I don't think you're probably having to pay a whole lot to go acquire him. The other one, Granderson, he's mid-20s guy. He's also an end. I think you're probably going to have to give up a little bit more. But it does seem like, according to Underhill and everybody who's watching the Saints or what's going on in Saintsville, Saints are in a bad spot. They need a lot of young talent to come in. How do you do that? You sell off some of the decent old parts you have. I don't know if they have anybody who's going to, command a first or second round pick, but I do believe, listening to him talk, watching things with your own eyes, they're sort of like the Detroit Lions back in 2007 or 8, whenever the winless team went. It's not that you didn't have some talent, there just wasn't much. If one of your key starters goes down, you've got no chance to win. They're that depleted from a talent standpoint. So what do you do if you're them? You've got to get more draft picks. So you got to try to get more swings of the bat to try to bring in talent. So Duke Crew, here's my question. Yesterday's show, we did break it down about, Lacey being a project defensive end for him. Sounds like the team really likes him. I like him. You look at Davenport, Hurd. I know Pierce is going to say that. You look at AQM. You look at some of the other guys you have on the defensive line, and I think the Lions feel comfortable with it. We're good, right? But if they're having conversations with the Saints, I have to believe that they feel like for a minimal fee, especially with Jordan, I can't imagine Jordan would have cost more than a 7th or 6th round pick and probably even a conditional one. Why wouldn't you go out and get him? He's veteran in the NFL, rotational piece, shuts down the run, gets after the quarterback, and virtually no cost to you, or very, very little cost. Granderson, I think, is going to cost a little bit more if you do go after him. Probably going to be closer to a 5th, maybe a 4th round pick. I don't know, somewhere in that range. But either way, if you're really in this season to win it, and you think the Lions, if we can just add some more depth here, a 1-year rental, probably in Jordan's case, I don't know Granderson's contract offhand, if he's got 1 or 2 years left or anything like that, so I can't speak intelligently about that. But if you're the Detroit Lions, why would you not go for it? I don't think they're going to try to add a quarterback from them. That wouldn't seem to make any sense. Running back, I'm guessing you're fine. Receiver, there's probably not a chance. Maybe offensive line, you can maybe try to snag some more depth from the Saints. Trying to think of anybody in the secondary. I don't know if you really have a need for anybody in the secondary at this point. Same with linebackers. You get it. You're not adding a punter or kicker from them. So what do you guys think? If Brad Holmes, if you take Nick Underhill for his word, teams are calling the Saints. Saints are getting ready to sell. Do you make the move there? I also get everybody's going to be watching this game today and saying, man, oh man, if the Bengals lose, they're going to go on a fire sale and we can go get Trey Hendrickson. Fine. Maybe you do. But does anybody here raise your hand if you really think that the Lions, Brad Holmes, are going to give up a 1st or 2nd round pick and then pay Trey Hendrickson some multi-generational type deal or contract to keep him appeased and happy? Let's remember, he's held out for a while. He did come back this year, took basically a 1-year deal with them to try to play through this year, so he got some money versus nothing. But if you're going to trade some significant draft capital for a guy who's out of here in 5 months, I don't see Holmes doing that. All right, that's what I got on this. I will also throw this in at you guys. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. Nick Underhill, he's covered the Saints for, I want to say, about 10 years now. He's been around and he's covered other teams, but he does have a lot of inside knowledge of this particular organization. So does that add more weight to it? We'll wait and see. But I want to say a week or 2 weeks ago, I did also report from a couple of my friends in Detroit media that they were aware that the Lions and Saints had been talking. Cam Jordan did come up in that conversation specifically. So it just seems like this is further corroboration or confirmation, I should say, of that. All right, Duke, let's get over to you guys. We got about 6 minutes to our special guest of the day jumps on. So let me scroll to the top of the screen. And hey, give me your score predictions from today. I know Dan O'Damas had us winning by almost 40 points yesterday. I don't think he's wrong. All right, Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Always a pleasure to see you, Michael. What about them Tigers? Exclamation point, woo! When I went to bed last night, I know they were, I want to say tied. I wasn't going to stay up and watch the whole thing just because I had to be up for this. But then as soon as I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning, I was like, hey, checked it out, and I saw they won it. So congrats to the Tigers, man. That's an impressive win. They went from being dead, biggest, drop-off in Major League Baseball history, and now you almost have to wonder if they were saying, hey, let's rest some guys. Let's just get to the matchup we want in the first round of the wild card game, and then go from there. Maybe that is what they did. I don't know. Some are speculating on that. Johnny L, good morning, folks. Back at you. Michael D, who's ready for some football? Exclamation point. One pride. You got to love the pride. Hassani Manley. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Back at you. Hopefully it's a phenomenal afternoon in Cairo. Bubba, good morning, Duke Crew. We should treat the Bengals with humility and brotherly love. Nah, BTA, belt to butt. I'll go with that. Exclamation point. Woo! I think we will. Johnny L, who's in the thumbnail? Cam Jordan. Cam, I am Jordan. Let's see, Riley O'Brien, it's game day. Let's go, everyone, 100%. Lions are going to unleash the fury, I think, today. Michael D, Lions 38, Cincinnati 17. Could be just that. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. About to hit the road as we head out to the game. Let's have a great showing. 100%. You and the fam, have a great time. Bo, Stephanie, are you doing some tailgating? Have a good time. We'll find out. Jess, don't mess around with the Bengals. They do have weapons. Overlook them, and that's going to be bad for us. Yeah, I just think the way this team is constructed, and I get why everybody worries about not overlooking any team. Yeah, just look at the players. Look at the people in charge, the coaches, and then the prominent players on the team. I just don't think a Taylor Decker. I don't think a Lee McNeil, even though he's not playing today. I don't think a Derek Barnes, a St. Brown. You guys get it, man. The way this team is wired, I just don't think it's possible for them to really overlook an opponent. Michael D, have a safe drive and enjoy the game. I like the way you're thinking. Detroit Matt, good morning, Duke Crew. I got the Lions winning 38-17 with Goff throwing 3 touchdowns. Gibbs/Monty both getting a touchdown. Also have Scooble throwing 7 scoreless innings and the Tigers winning 3-0. Woo! I'll go with that with an exclamation point. Man, wouldn't that be some great day for Detroit? Hey, Detroit D, good to see you, my friend. It feels like it's been a few days. Good morning, Duke Crew. I'm here in Cincinnati, ready to cheer on our Lions. Hey, have a great time, tailgate, enjoying the game, my friend. You should have a good one. Good weather, it sounds like. Both Bengals managed to score 17. How? We'll find out. It could be merciful 17. Austin Manley, go Lions, 43-17. Man, everybody's saying 17 for the Bengals. Johnny L. B. Say Stephanie. I concur. Detroit D. I have 2 extra tickets. Everyone needs them. Hey, man, that's real awesome of you. Let them know in the comment section. Just say, Kate, I wouldn't be mad if Brad does pick up a few one-year rentals. It does sound like maybe that's going to be a possibility at the right price. Hey, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Hey, good to see you as always, Henry. Who's ready for some football? Question mark. Go Lions. Hey, it's the downside of it being a 4:30 game, right? When they first scheduled this game, they were saying it's going to be the America's game of the week. Unfortunately, with Burrow out, not so much. Bo, as for the Saints selling, by the time you read this, Coach, I'm sure we'll know, but who do they have and what price would Brad be a buyer? Probably low-end price. You already heard me talk about it, to your point, Bo. But those seem to be the prominent players. Maybe there's somebody else. But Underhill did say Cam Jordan and Granderson are the primary focuses, if I understood them correctly. Miles Mark, greetings, salutations, coach and crew, and Mr. Hassanin Madley, time to trounce him and bounce him. I like the way you're thinking. Well said, my friend. Just greetings, salutations, Drew Crew. Game day and our living should be easy. Hope our defense puts a beat down on their quarterback. I think there's every possibility for it. That's why I was saying earlier, they're probably having to mostly do 3-step drops because that pass rush is coming after them. I just don't think the Lions are going to be overly worried about the running game today. Maybe I'm wrong. I say, Mally, good morning to all my friends watching Lions Talk Live, best podcast. Thank you for those kind words, my friend. Johnny L, let's get this game going. Oh, yeah, with some exclamation points. Bo, Bo, Granderson, and Jordan on defensive end. Oh, maybe an offensive lineman. Could be just that. Hookadoo, my phone is having a meltdown today. I'm going to have to just listen in. Lions roar. Hey, always roaring into the end zone today. Johnny L, and hopefully your phone gets better, Hookadoo. Johnny L, good morning, Mr. Hassanin. Let's see, Bo Booth. It's going to be hot in Cincinnati. Definitely time for rotation. Hey, why would you make those trades? Add some more rotational pieces. I see Manley. Good morning, Mr. Johnny. Johnny L. There you go. Dave Bing. So how many points are we going to roll up on them today? I'm thinking 42. I think that is a possibility. Thanks, Drake. There you go, Bo. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you. Hasse Manley. Good morning, Mr. Hookadoo. France, good morning, Dennis and the Duke Crew. Miles Warner. One Bengals fan channel titled their previous show as "Oh blank, the Lions are coming." Yes, they are. And I think if you're a Bengals fan, you're probably worried about the Lions declawing you today. Johnny L. Sonic and Knuckles today might be accurate. Ken, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation points. Woo! Back at you. Miles Bummer Hookadoo, you got the grip, bro. There you go. Susan, how about those Tigers last night? Yes, indeed. Found a way to get it done. Miles Bummer, 11 innings, and they got the W. Susan Scott, yeah, they had to go a few extra, but you know what? At the end of the day, all counts the same. Pat, so what happened to Hendrickson? Seems like he's not doing well this year. I just think he's getting doubled more. I think he's getting more attention from a lack of production from other sources on the Bengals. Johnny L, 11 innings. Wow, did you get any sleep? Yeah, maybe a few. A little bit, I should say. Ken, hoping Scooble makes it 2-0 Tigers, exclamation point, after tonight. Might be accurate. Steve Rogers, is this game's Tesla's breakout game? He's got an opportunity, especially if we get a big lead early. All right, guys, it's about time for our special guest of the day. You know him. You've heard from him a lot of time. He's a man on top of a big mountain giving out ideas and wisdom. He's a bit of a Lions insider. Let's go over to our special guest of the day and get over to Hutch Jr. Hutch Jr., how you doing this fine morning?
Good morning, guys. Go Tigers. Big win last night. So that's a start.
So let's not dilly-dally. Let's dive into it. It sounds like, according to Nick Underhill, you and I were talking last night about this. We've speculated this from people I've heard in Detroit for a while, a week, maybe 2 weeks, that the Lions and Saints have been talking. It also sounds like the Saints have been talking to a lot of different NFL front offices about some potential trades. Do you think there's any real strong possibility these two teams work out a deal? And if so, who do you think the Lions are trying to acquire?
I mean, it's always possible that these guys work out a deal. Just because I think the familiarity with Dan Campbell and those guys. Obviously, I think last year they were tied to a couple people too. I think Cam Jordan is probably one of the names that is probably going to come up a lot. I know Granderson was out there last year. They were tied to him late in the trade deadline. I think they even had like deals going and then it fell through. I think they wanted a lot. Dan Campbell or, Brad Holmes was like, nah, I just don't want to give up that. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. You just look at it. Cam Jordan kind of is the name that makes sense. I know he's a homegrown New Orleans Saint. He doesn't want to leave that team, but at the same time, he's a vet. I think he wants to win a ring. And everything, if you put the puzzle pieces together, it makes sense for the Lions. Dan Campbell knows him. It's not expensive. You don't have to give up huge draft capital. The Saints need draft capital. I mean, if a team offered them a fourth or a fifth or maybe even a sixth, I mean, they're bad. They need draft picks. They have to do something. I mean, they need pieces everywhere.
When you look at the Lions, we're far enough into the season now where we can probably have some idea where their strengths and weaknesses are. When you look at the Lions, what would you say are some of their weaknesses? Let's start with that.
Yeah, cornerback right now, right? You just lose DJ Reed. Thankfully it's not for the season. I saw that injury, man. I was like, oh my Lord, this is not good. Terrion's struggling, with just just everything, I guess. I was having high hope maybe he comes around, but I think our defense is playing well. You look at it, they're not, outside of Terrion on that side, he just gives up a lot of penalties, and that's what it is. Our linebackers are playing well. Our D-line, for what we have, is playing well. Tyleek and DJ Reader are actually fulfilling that middle gap. And Hutch is starting to come along. I think he's starting to get a feel for that leg again. And then, now Aleem is probably 1, maybe 2 weeks from coming back. Right. And Davin Hurt is what people like to call him. He'll be back here in a couple weeks. So, if you can add to this team at the deadline, you're only going to make that secondary better. So just cornerback is my main concern with DJ Reed down right now, man. Especially going into this game, you got Chase and you got Higgins. You're putting a Meek probably on. I don't know, man. I go back and forth. Do you put a Meek on, Chase, or do you put a Meek on Higgins? You're just gonna have to pick one and go with it.
When you look at the Lions now, also from the opposite perspective, what do you say are the strengths of this team? Because watching that first week, I think most of us as Lions fans just write it off. Hey, bad setup, whatever you want to say. Didn't play guys in the preseason. Green Bay just on a roll that particular first week. What do you say now is tough for other teams, the average NFL team, to have to stop with this Lions offense and defense?
Yeah, I think our O-line is coming along. I think people just kind of wrote us off. I think they thought, well, your O-line is just not good. And I don't think we've had O-line problems since that Packers game. And like that could be rust. I mean, that could be those guys didn't play together at all. I mean, they only played together in training camp. They didn't get game snaps. And then you just look at it now. I mean, they dominated Cleveland's front line. I mean, go look at that game and go watch Ratledge against Mason Graham. I mean, Mason Graham was in hell. Like he couldn't get home, and that's kind of why we did what we did against them. I mean, Myles Garrett's going to win his ones, and then you just got to hope the rest of your linemen, do what they do. So our O line is coming together. It sucks because I feel like Gibbs is trying to become the back he was last year, and I just feel like we're doing more of those inside runs where he's kind of that outside guy. I think he's going to break off a couple today. I think he'll kind of get that feeling back. But I know I've talked to people who are like, well, why isn't Gibbs doing what he's done the last season? And I'm just like, it's going to take time. Demo's more that up, the north-south runner. Gibbs is more that east and cut. So O-line's good. Quarterback play's been very well. I think Goff, I wasn't too worried about that pick. I know he tried to force that ball to J-Mo last week. J-Mo was just off. I think he has another big game today. I would love to see us bench our starters about the third quarter if we can.
Well, I think a lot of people would be happy if we could get some extra rest on these guys. Let's talk about the Taylor Decker situation. Then we'll move into Kirby Joseph. Decker, we all get it, man. At this point in the season, he's probably not practicing much, if at all. Do you think that's a smart move to try to keep him preserved throughout the year, or do you think maybe there's a larger injury in play with his shoulder or whatever?
I just think it's the surgery. I think Dan Campbell kind of knows. He's like, hey, this is just what we have to do to keep him ready for game time. I'm okay with it. He's a veteran. He's been here forever. Let the guy rest. Just do what he does. He's here for game day. He's been here through the struggles. I think the guy deserves it. I have no hard feelings against Deck, man. I mean, he's gave us his life and soul on this team. And it's like Kirby, if we have to keep Kirby and Deck for, out for 2 or 3 practices just to have him in game day, we're that much better. I mean, without them, you lose Kirby on the defense, your defense isn't as good, and you lose Decker on the O-line, your O-line's not as good. So I'm okay with those guys sitting. It doesn't bother me. Every time I see him on the injury report, I'm like, it's probably a rest day. They'll probably, unless it's something like now, if I start seeing some other stuff pop up in the injury report, those two, and then I'm like, oh, this is bad. But with the knee and the shoulder, I have no problems with them.
One of the questions that Lions fans are starting to ask as we get closer and closer to this inevitably happening, Lee McNeil is going to be back, whether it's next week, the week after that, after the bye or whatever. When you look at how Reeder and Williams have been playing, who sits, or do you put all 3 of them in the defensive line to start the game? How would you handle that situation?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think that's going to be a very interesting conversation for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to have, and then to see what defense we do, because I think our defense is playing well the base that we're in now. But you have to put a lean on the field. Whether that be, hey, if you guys aren't okay, maybe these guys go together and say, look, we're just going to have to rotate as much as we do, because you got to think, man, you're going to have Davenport coming back. That's another DN. So now you're going to have the conversations. Okay, is Muhammad going to get sat? And Muhammad's playing well, so this D line, at one point when we were all talking about, I think everyone talked about it, our D line was not great because Davenport went down, Muhammad came in, surprised a lot of people. I went on record and said, hey, we're in trouble. And then I backed it off after Muhammad had that game against the Ravens. I was really happy with him. So, but yeah, no, I just don't know what you do. You have to put Hutch on there. I think you have to put Reeder in there. I think you have to put Aleem, and then you just kind of flip flop the 4. I think they go to that forefront and then just kind of let the boys get home.
So since we talked about the potential trade with the Saints, I guess that's being chatted about from Nick Underhill or other reporters with the Lions and the Saints. Let's just say the Lions get either Granderson or Jordan or whoever else. what do you think about the Lions' rotation on that defensive line? Because we were just talking about Aleem McNeil, Williams, DJ Reader, and you got to throw Lopez in there. Maybe throw in, Pat O'Connor in some sort of situational pass rush from the defensive tackle position. But as you were just mentioning with the ends, how deep is that Lions pass rush at the defensive end spot now?
Yeah, I mean, if those guys come back, they produce. I mean, you're talking. I mean, the names aren't like stand out, right? You're not talking about, oh, these guys got, Jalen Carter and these guys. I mean, you're just talking about depth pieces that can rotate and play.
Right.
I think that's how you win championships. You can keep these guys fresh. Hutch doesn't have to be on the field at 97% of the snaps. You can give him some breaks. Aleem can kind of be on that middle, collapse the pocket, and then you can have Muhammad coming off the edge. You can have Davenport coming off the edge. Reader's been getting some sacks in there, so it's just, it's a good problem to have when you have depth. I think they've preached about it last year. That was Dan's big thing, going into the season is like, hey, we had a bazillion injuries last year. We need depth. And now, I mean, they're going to have that problem here soon. And I don't think they're going to be mad about it. I think they're just going to say, hey, this is where we're at. I think this team knows, like, hey, we all want to win championships. I think O'Connor will probably be the odd man out of that rotation. I think we'll probably have to put him on the practice squad just because, Aleem coming back. I think Lopez is starting to come into his own. Reader's going to be that guy you keep, obviously, with the vet. So, yeah, it's a good problem to have for me. I have no complaints about it at all.
When you look at today's game, what could the Bengals do to potentially slow and try to keep this, game fairly close?
If they can, it's going to be very tough. I think our D line is just going to eat Jake Browning alive. Like watching him against last week, I was like, dude, they're bad. It's crazy to think about. I'd say you got to keep the Lions off the field, but I don't know if they can. I just don't. Like they're gonna throw shots down the field. That's how they're gonna try to beat us. I think our D line just gets home, gets Browning off the field, and then, I think Lions will just do what they do. I think they'll play bully ball against them, and then, we'll just run the score up. It could be like I could see us scoring 40, 50 points, and then just saying, hey, okay, it's over. And then they're probably going to score some garbage time touchdown to make this, whatever. They might score 17, 21, whatever. But it's going to be garbage time. I just think we'll just play the bully ball game with them.
I do agree just because, Dan O'Damas, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but he was on the show and gave a score prediction that the Lions are going to win by almost 40. So we'll see if that holds water. But all right, Hutch Jr., super fan yourself. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where they can find you, support your content, and all your efforts.
As always, thanks for having me this morning, Dan. Go Lions and go Tigers. As always, you can find me on Twitter, SuperFanHutch. You can find me on Facebook, The Lions Den. Go follow the page for updates and everything.
All right, my friend. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for making a little time out of your morning to come on over and hang with the Dew Crew.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch this Vikings O-line get obliterated by Cleveland, so...
Hey, hopefully the Browns can do us a solid and just knock everybody out of Minnesota. So go enjoy the game, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see you, Hutch. All right, guys, let's get over to the Dew Crew comment section for a few more minutes. William, we got greetings, salutations, Dan and Dew Crew. Go Lions! Exclamation point, one pride. Woo! And back at you. Trina and Christina, Lions by 30. I'll take that. Johnny, what's up, Mr. Steele, Maleficent, and Fisher? I agree, Coach Dan. Exclamation point. I hope this is a game for Jamo to shine. Want to see him smile again. He was so somber in his interview the other day. Yeah, I think he understood. He didn't have a great game, plus a couple things that go his way. You know how you get over that? You have a return to form the following game. Pierce, Kurt, what up, though? Kurt says, good morning, Johnny. Mary Smith, the Lions are going to ask, who's our daddy? Ooh, we're going to have him asking that. Joseph, good morning, Moonscar. Thomas, most important game is the game in front of you. 100% the next one on the schedule. Kurt Steele, Pierce Sargent, good morning. Mary's Professor Steele, Trina and Christina, Lions 30, Bengals not enough. I'll take that. Maleficent Fisher, good morning, Kurt Steele. Great game preview show. Hey, that's what he does, man. That's what he does indeed, with an exclamation point. Johnny L, is if you want your blood, you got it. 100%. We'll give him some blood. 9 drinks. Who put the pork in smoker during? All right, we'll find out. Kurt Steele, Thomas, I know, right? Big D, Grip Morning, let's go 100%. Let's go all the way into the end zone. Kurt Steele, Mary Smith, good morning. Brent, Saints should be in sell mode now, exclamation point, with a laughing out loud. I think if they're not now, they're pretty dang close to selling. Maleficent Fisher, Kurt Steele, thanks. All right, Kurt Steele, Brent, all right. Pierce, pray karma doesn't end up with Kansas City. We'll find out. Gary, Brent, thank you. All right, let's see, Pierce. The only Pierce piece I think the Saints have that could be a first is Olave. Oh, not a first is Olave. Yeah, okay, that's a good call. I didn't even think about that. Good call on that, Pierce. Derek probably could get Jordan for a 6. Yeah, 7 to 6, something like that. Mary, I think I seen a Detroit required Granderson for a 6-round pick in 29-26. Well, we'll give him one all that way out. Probably none of us will live to see that 6-round pick, I would assume. Verno, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Coach, the villain always planning something. Lions 45-14 over Cincinnati. I'll take that. 9 drinks. Put pork butt on smoker during Michigan game. Was not cooked or cracked pot. It hardly fit. All right. Appearance coach correct would rather have Jordan than DDI. Hey, he could have them all though in a rotation. I'll just see they would probably want more than that for Jordan Derek. Could be. Pat, would they run up the score or just keep a good lead? I think they'll just keep playing. I mean, that's one thing at the professional level. It's tough at the collegiate level, let alone the professional level. You put people on the field, they're going to keep playing. Even the backups, those backups want to play. They want to put up stats. They're playing for a future contract. So it's not like, Pop Warner or even high school where you say, hey, we'll call up the dogs and just take a bunch of knees. That just typically does not happen. Derek, a trade is a rental anyway, so Jordan would be a good trade. Yeah, could be. Mary, I'm at 2026. Man, I really like the 29-26 idea, though, there, Mary. Brent, salute Kurt Steele. Joseph C., they'll probably at least want a 5th or for Jordan. Could be. Derek, I don't think Jordan will get more than a 6. All right. 9 drinks is waving all sorts of stuff. Kerry, Jordan by far, I think. All right. With an exclamation point. Joseph, with Jordan's production, they'll want at least a 5th. Could be. Dre Day, if the Lions contain Hendrickson all game long, how do no sacks, no pressure, then why would they waste draft capital on him? I don't know, man. We'll find out if they go for him, although I don't think the Lions are going to go for him. Brent, I like Cam Jordan, but how old is he? He is 36. 37, I believe. Maybe that's right, but I think he's 36. I could be wrong. He's right around there. How about that? Big D, Cam Jordan is still 25. How he acts would be a great addition. All right, I'll go with that. Tommy, what do you got? Mountain Dew, let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking, my friend Joseph C., but his production ain't dropped none. You got to watch him play in today's games, and he's very reliable. He is, man. He holds up very well. 9 drinks. You said raise your hand. I got you, man. Let's see, Kurt Steele. Cam Jordan doesn't want to leave New Orleans. That's his forever home. Laughing out loud. Could be. Just see, wouldn't it be up to him if they trade him? Yeah, they might give him a say in it, but at the end of the day, they might just make a business decision. Blind Tom, go Lions and Tigers from Belhaven, North Carolina. Enjoy the day, my friend. Miles Margaret, 52-17. Man, 17's popping up a lot for them. Josie, it's about as good a Mountain Dew this morning. It's about time for one anyways. Hey, go have a good Mountain Dew, my friend. Kurt Steele, Josie, I think it would be would pull a Gronk and would retire. Might be true. Maybe he wants to chase the Super Bowl. It's not like the Lions are as bad as when Gronk was threatened to be traded here. Anymore, I'll go with 52-9. Lions win. Exclamation point. I'll take that. Josie, yeah, that would be the only way. Kurt Steele, 38-10. Brent might be Kurt Steele. Cam does love it in New Orleans. He does indeed. Kerry, Cam would come to Detroit in a heartbeat, Kurt. He said so himself last year. All right, I'll go with that. Detroit Grit, 42-10. I like the way you're thinking. Josie, but right now, I still think he likes the game more. All right, Maleficent Fisher, 52-9. Lions over the Bengals. Kurt Steele, Kerry. Oh, I didn't see that. Brent didn't know that. Kerry. All right. Well, I'm glad now we know it. Knowing is half the battle. Pierce and Kurt, this could be Jordan's last shot at a ring. Yeah, I would say you're probably right on that, which could be the compelling factor why he would want to go in a trade. Josie, I think it would too, Gary, especially when he's still putting out good production. That means he still enjoys it too. I agree with that. Football for breakfast. Gotta love that there, Kurt Steele. Pyre, all right. Just see. Good point, Pierce. Kurt Steele, Pierce Sargent, true. Moonscar Blade, whatever the score is, if we get up big, I don't want to even see one start in the fourth quarter. Go Lions! Exclamation point! Go big, go or go home. We'll see what they do, but we all get it, man. MCDC, while he does pull games or players from games, he tends to do it like 5 minutes left in the game for whatever reason. That's just his thing. Gary, plus he gets back with Anzalone. This is true. Dre Day. Oh, it's the flip-flop fan, Hutch Jr. All right. Thomas, double toe tap the like, y'all. Yeah, if you guys could, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the buttons. For Alliance hunting, they probably are hunting for a victory today in Cincinnati. Thomas, 34-17 Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Joe C. Gary, he enjoys being around Coach Dan Campbell, too. That might be a part of it. Thomas, what's the deal with the absolute loser NFL picks the Super Bowl halftime show? I don't know, and not worried about it, my friend. Miles Meyer, yay, Hutch Jr. Joe C. Lions win 42-13. I'll take that. Joe C. Well, time for me to go. Hey, have a good day, my friend. Enjoy the Lions game. I know, finally got my Irish breakfast brew and ready. Woo! Exclamation point. Thomas, Tyrion should practice with his hands taped up. That would stop the grabbing holding. All right. Kerry, well, he said so on Fox pregame show last year, has said he hate to leave home, but he would want a ring. Yeah, I get it indeed. Thomas, Meek on Chase, Tyrion has shown so far he cannot handle wide receiver run. All right. Joe C, yeah, I couldn't see them coming off no less than a fifth. I'd say they'll probably want a fourth, though. Maybe we'll find out. Dre Day, everything he said about the doubters, I remember Hutch Jr. said the exact same thing. Don't pretend you're not a hater. All right, Mary Smith, TA is going to be fine. I think he is going to be fine. I like how he's playing. I get he's had some rough moments, but I actually think he's playing pretty well. Brent, Dre Day, flip-flop fan. It happens. Joe C, Dre Day, question marks. Robo any given Sunday, but the Lions will roll on against the lowly Bengals. Go Lions with exclamation points. I'm down with that. Hey, Vape, good to see you, my friend. Been a hot second. The Lion, they pick on Tyrion Arnold because he's so good. So they did it with Stanford, Calvin, Johnson, and with Tesla. Yeah, that's just part of what the media does. Dre Day, yeah, Brent, he said the pass rush was inept and needs someone opposite Hutch. The defense is trash off of week one. Fake fans are the worst. All right. Yeah. All right. People change their opinion. Joe C, I can't wait to see what Miles Frazier is going to do. Yeah. Get that guy healthy and see what he can do in time for sure. A-Vape and Sue. I did love reporting on Sue. Joe C, it's for more they couldn't hear and they don't have the cohesion together. Yeah, might be. C note, man, talking about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. C note, game day, exclamation point. Let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, he's on beard now. All right, he's on the beard. Mary Smith, when is Miles Frazier going to play? I don't know that yet, Mary. He's still dealing with that knee. My guess is maybe another month. But don't hold me to that. Thomas, O-line now is solid and will get better, but I did not see dominance versus Cleveland to be running Gibbs too much on the inside. Exclamation point. Fastest running back in the NFL, not using his speed on the outside. I don't get it. All right. Kerry, what in the world is the thing about a Bad Bunny? All right, I'm not going to get into the Bad Bunny stuff, man. I'm going to focus on Lions. I get some people aren't happy about the halftime show. It doesn't matter to me, man. Have whoever out there, man. I don't care. It's the Super Bowl. Brett Dre Day, bandwagon guy. Sorry about that. Laughing out loud. Joseph C, really Dre Day. Dre Day, yeah, Joseph, it's the truth. Thomas, as long as Decker plays on game day till the bye, I'm good. Exclamation point. Give backup more reps. Stud still plays on game day. He still does, man. He's powering through. Laughing out loud. Dang, that's crazy, says Joseph C. Maleficent Fisher. I love how the season is unfolding. Exclamation point. Lions gradually adding another defense weapon week by week. So exciting. I take that. Joseph C. So when is Miles Frazier going to be back? We'll have to wait and see. He's still healing up, it sounds like. Dre Day. The Lions are just fine with the players they have, and even in a loss, it's a lesson learned. I'll go with that. So they will get better. That's the talk that the fan on the team should have. All right. Thomas, Kerry, 100%. But all right. Moving on from that. Gary, I agree, Thomas. They should have timed screen passes to Gibbs. Yeah, maybe they will have time. Miles Marker, thank you, Hutch, with an exclamation point. Dre Day, 100%, said Joseph. Joseph, we need to put our people back from injured, though. Got to get them healthy, for sure. Brent, agreed, Dre Day. Moonscar, what percentage of the crowd will be Hallelujah Blue today? Question mark. 50%, 70%, Ford Field South loading? I think a whole lot. Me and some of the neighbors had talked at one point about going to this game, and you can just see the difference between Ford Field prices and, whatever their field is called Vastly different. Vastly different. Joe C., I can't wait till the Kansas City game. Laughing out loud. I always like to see Patrick off my Holmes get sacked. We'll see if he does get sacked a few times. Thomas, yeah, Gary Gibbs is still playing great, but not using his speed to optimize his God-given talent. Joe C., Moscar, here lately in Detroit, Lions fans have been slacking since the few years back. They've showed out in every stadium. Yeah, they have had a good traveling crowd with them. Jennifer, good morning. All back at you, the 302 kid. Good morning, coach and Duke crew. I would like to see Sam Laporta get in the end zone today. Go Lions. Hey, I hope he does, because that's probably good for us. Joe C., I mean, there wasn't nobody for the Lions really in Baltimore Ravens Stadium. Might be true. Ziggy and friends, good morning. Captain Dan and the Duke crew, all-stars, back at you. Always a pleasure to see you. Superfan Hutch, Dre Day, our pass rush outside of Hutch and Delport was very minimal. None of the Muhammad was going to be that big of a factor in the truth. All right. Joe C., good morning, Ziggy. Dre Day. Like Jack Campbell said, the backups are not seen as backups to them. Yeah, he did point that out. Good call there, Dre Day. They are all dogs, and they're just as good as the starters. And I do think to a certain degree that is basically what this coaching staff, the mantra of the team's built around. They're all very much a symbiotic family. One person goes down, we believe the next guy can do it. We don't need outside sources. Well, I also get Brad Holmes' job is to always look for upgrades for the team, see if a deal can be struck, one that's clearly beneficial to the team. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, man. See you, friends. Good morning, Josie. Joseph C., 42-13 Lions, exclamation point. Lions being strong. Thomas, Joseph, Miles Frazier is going to be a player when he gets his chance. The young man is a beast when healthy. Yeah, just got to get him healthy. Ziggy and friends, Joseph C., Dre Day, Superfan, minimum, 3 straight wins through the minimal. Guess you're wrong with your take. A minimal pass rush doesn't give the results they have. All right. Ziggy and friends, Lions win big today, 40-20. I'll take that. Carrie, watch a lot more of your linebackers today. I believe they're going to be in blitz mode. Could be. I think they're going to go after the quarterback 100%. Try to minimize the passing attack and the weapons they have. I can see that. I can see a lot of drop zone. The Lions, with Aaron Glenn, they only played zone, I want to say 55.6% of the time. Now they play 62% of the time. That 7% is the biggest difference. No, but it is a significant change. And I do think they're trying to mix it up a whole lot, trying to keep opposing quarterbacks off base, off kilter a little bit. Dre Day, stop doubting the GMs and coaches. If they say they're fine, then go with it. Nothing more than that. Fair enough. Moonscar Blade, just win, baby. Exclamation point. And get out healthy. Hey, let's be healthy indeed and win. Craig, why wouldn't Jordan not want to come to the Super Bowl contending like the Lions? Question mark. Go Lions and Tigers. What a great weekend. It has been a phenomenal weekend for Detroit fans, I should say. Thomas, if you love backer play, watch Captain Jack, top 10 linebacker in the league, exclamation point, and the rookie defensive line playing like a 5-year vet already. Yeah, I like Tyreek the Freak Williams. And to your point about Jack Campbell, yeah, I think they're both playing at a high level. Let's see, Mark, good morning, Dan. Go Lions. Back at you, my friend. I think friends, Tigers won a big one last night. In the series. Yeah, 1-0 in the series. They are, man. And you know what? Getting that first one, I like that. Really sets a tone for the rest of it. Man, you talk about pressure tonight on Seattle to have to win. Bo, happy trails, Duke crew. See you at game time. We'll see you then. Melissa and Fisher, have a fantabulous game day. Everyone, exclamation point. Go Lions. For those, I did see it in the comment section. I will not have a live cast today. I will have the post-game show. Even have a guest coming on for the post-game show. Somebody who's never been on Lions Talk Live before, so we'll do that. There will be times this year I'll have the game feed going just because of different stuff, not able to do it today. Blind Tom, when is Rodrigo coming back? Probably later this month, maybe very early next month. Mary, have a great and blessed day. See you all in the morning with a win under our bridge. I like the way you're thinking. Jason, Levi Stadium or bus, exclamation point. Let's see, Money Boss Bag Boy can probably end up an Eagle or Commander. The scared NFL teams make sure we never get who we want. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! Could be accurate with that. Music, my remedy. Is it for Carl Grandison? He was one of the people I speculated on for sure. Hussein Madley. Good morning, Mr. Rock M. Brandy. Hey, Hussein Madley. GTSY. I don't know. Lionel. It's Wabbit season, exclamation point. Catch y'all later. Lightning and Thundercats. Ho! All right, I'll take that. Henry Moore, have a victorious day and see y'all later. We'll see you then, my friend. Coach Rock, Mr. Manley, ready for your son to bring some grit. I think he will unleash the fury when he gets back with the team later in the season. Brent, good morning. And Mr. Hassani, how's the mid coming along? Verno, time to build up our stats. Yeah, build up our stats indeed. Melissa Fisher, good morning, Mr. Hassani, exclamation point. Money Boss, Bag Boy, TA gets his first pick today. Man, it would have been nice if he would have, if the penalty wouldn't have wiped out the one against the Bears, but I think you're right. I think you could get one today. 9 drinks. A flight from South Florida to Ohio is cheaper than a ticket to Ford Field with 2 tickets. Yeah, it's crazy. The ticket prices when you look around the rest of the NFL, like somebody was telling me last night, we were hanging out for the Sarge's and his wife's anniversary, that they live down in Texas, something like that, and was it the Texans tickets? You can still get tickets to go and not even standing room only ones for like $40. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Back at you, T-Bone Lokes. Let's see, nothing makes sense about a Henderson trade unless it's a super team friendly. Yes, I would agree with that. Dr. Detroit, what's going on? Not too much, man. Just getting ready for the game. Version of the mean. Montgomery, 100-plus yards in his first homecoming. Me, 558 miles driven there and back. Go Lions. Enjoy the drive. Miles Meyer, 1 pride, 3 and 1. I'll take that. C-Note, Coach, thumbs up, and Lions fans, let's go Lions. Super Bowl or bust. I'll take all the above, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Gary, happy trails, dude crew. See you after the game. Stay safe. Go Lions. Woo! We'll see you on the post-game show. Brent, one pride worldwide. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Ziggy and friends, good morning, Mr. Medley. Hope your son's doing well. Me too, man. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today before the game, I'll get it over to you. Otherwise, if you would be so kind before checking out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for someone don't know. Be a good human being. We'll see you all later on today on the post-game victory show. And, yeah, we'll see you guys all then. Have a great day.